Get ready.
Well, howdy folks, welcome to a typical Irish day's weather in Connemara. So I'm on my way over to Connemara. Well, I'm in Connemara, but I'm heading for Delphi. So I'm meeting up with some friends now over the weekend, but I'm not meeting them until tomorrow evening, so I decided to take a day ahead for myself. So I have all day tomorrow to go and do a bit of exploring and do a bit of vlogging. There's no point in even attempting to do a bit of vlogging when you're with a few people that just aren't into it. It's impossible. So I'll take today and tomorrow to do a bit, although more tomorrow than today, because the plan was, geez, look at how dark it is over there, my god. The plan was to get over here earlier and take a bit of a trip over, make a bit of a day of it, but Murphy's Law, of course, what always happens is I couldn't finish what I needed to get done and work soon enough. And then when I eventually got that done, I realised I hadn't packed correctly the night before, and I had left a load of stuff until the last minute that just took me so much time to get done. Look at how look at how dark it is. Oh my god, look at the dark clouds. So it was really late by the time I got to leave the house. Then I had to fiddle around getting petrol and pumping up the tyres, and it was another 30 minutes doing that. So all my plans went out the window. Jeez, there's a view. Look, there's not raining over there. I've hit it bang on. I've hit it bullseye where the rain is. It looks like we'll drive out of it. So the plan was to try and just cut across the middle of the country and get just past Galway City, and then go from Salt Hill out to Spittle along the coast road, and then out into Connemara from Spittle, and then good god, that would take you out by the 12 Bends and Cashel, Roundstone, some really stunning places, but when I plugged it into the sat-nav, it was telling me I wouldn't get to Delphi until, my god, that's the other thing is about today is the wind is off the charts. I know the camera is not picking it up, but it is absolutely blowing a gale. But yeah, so it was nearly 10 o'clock before I would have got in. So I kind of abandoned that. I thought, well, maybe I'll do something as I get across, but it's ended up the weather's just been so bad. I just want to get over there now. So I mean the main route is for tomorrow anyway, so we'll just get today as a commuting day done. I've just come through the Maam Cross, so I'm heading down now, the Moms or whatever they're called, and I should drop down into Leenane or Leenaun, depending on what way you want to say it. And then out to Delphi around the estuary there, which is a phenomenal ride. Delphi sits right beside Doolough. Oh, japers, lads, get in. Right beside Doolough, which is possibly one of the most epic places in the country. I'll probably drop up there now before I drop into the hotel. But yeah, I'm starting to drive out of the rain now. But yeah, the motorway was boring as hell, as you'd expect, and then the last 15 or 20 miles of that motorway heading into Galway is it's quite high up, and they haven't really protected it well. Jesus, the wind. So it's absolutely absolutely exposed to the elements, and the wind was off the charts. I mean, 6 or 7 times now I thought the wheels were going to be blown out from underneath me. I was blown right across from the slow lane into the fast lane twice, and it's just proper heart in the mouth type stuff, you know. So I was glad to get onto these slower roads, although the wind has really picked up now, so there's just spots where I just get nearly blown right across the road here. It's vicious, but it is stunning, I have to say. Connemara is stunning, and it is somewhere you should definitely do in the rain at some point in your travels, because as beautiful as it is in the sunshine, I definitely think somewhere like Connemara has to be done at least once in the rain, because it just makes it feel like a completely different place. And you can see in real time how the landscape itself was actually, you know, forged with the wind and the rain, and, you know, cutting into it, and really is something special. I mean, all it does really is make you take your speed down a bit, which is no harm. If you're geared up, it shouldn't be a problem. But hopefully the weather will be a bit better tomorrow, although the forecast isn't great. I think it's worse than today, so I'll have to cross my fingers and toes. But like I said, unless it's completely bananas, I've got all my gear. So as you can see, hopefully the camera's picking it up, I've gone for the full courier look on the bike. I've put on the muffs over the handlebars, so that will allow me to keep wearing my light gloves instead of putting on the big heavy Gore-Tex ones. These muffs are great. They're just unbelievable. When you combine them with the heated grips, they're phenomenal for when you're in weather like this. And it's very hard to get muffs that will fit over all the handguards on a GS 1200. So these ones are called Toucan. I can't remember where I got them. I'll put up a link for them. But they're very good. So tomorrow should be epic. Now, if the weather holds off, I just want it to be, you know, relatively dry. You know, if it's raining, that's fine. As long as this really strong wind is gone, because you don't mind a bit of rain and you don't mind a bit of wind, but the two of them together aren't pleasant, particularly winds like today. But tomorrow I plan to head out by Doolough. And on Doolough there's another pass called the Sheafrey Pass. The Sheafrey, I can't pronounce that properly, but it's an epic pass. So we'll end up actually doing a loop. So we'll go out by Doolough and up towards Louisburg. We'll do a bit of a loop back on ourselves before heading back up north, completing out by Louisburg, heading out by Newport and Westport, and then out to Achill Island. And then we'll do the Atlantic Road on Achill Island, which is absolutely astonishing. It's one of my favourite roads. And then all the way onto Achill Island, and then up onto Keene Beach. There's a few little things I'd like to show you there. And then we'll come off the island, and hopefully, if the weather and the time permits, we'll head north and do a big loop around the top. And then we drop into a place called Furnace, and there's a road there. I think it's called the Nephin Way. Nephin, N-E-P-H-I-N. And I'm bringing you through this epic looking forest and lake and mountains. It has it all in one spot. Like, it's amazing. It's another one of these Jurassic Park locations where if you saw the dinosaur walking past, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. And then that'll loop us back down through the Sheafrey Pass, back down onto Doolough, and back into Delphi. And then hopefully then I'll meet up with the guys, and then we'll do our thing, and then I'll try and get some video footage of the trip home on the road that I was hoping to do today if the weather's better. I've brought my drone, but I've very low expectations of getting it into the air between the rain and the wind. Jeez, the roads are slippy here. I'm not holding out too much hope for it, but you never know. I do have footage of Doolough, and I'll include it in this video from a previous visit in the car. But yeah, I'm still trying to get through all the footage of Scotland, so apologies it's taking so long, but there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that there's just so much of it to get through, and editing all of this takes a huge amount of time, much more time than I ever imagined. And two, I was recently basically made redundant, so myself and one of my colleagues have essentially gone off and started our own business, and that's taking up a huge amount of time. You know, as I'm sure anyone who's started their own business can appreciate, you know, there's a lot to be getting done. Just getting things set up and running, and you know, so finding time to spend 3 or 4 hours editing the videos has been a struggle. But I will get them. I will get them. I've one ready to go there now. I'll try and publish that tonight. Oh yeah, this weather is getting really bad. So look, I'm gonna have to put the camera away because it's not waterproof while the cables for the microphones are in it. So I think I might have to pack it away. Hopefully I'll drive out of this. I'll give it a minute. I might drive out of this in a minute. I'm ready to. But yeah, so there's been a lot going on for me lately, you know. Plus, I was in the Alps a few weeks ago as well, and that was with my wife. So again, I took some footage, but I wasn't able to do any of the vlogging. It's, you know, I find it at least very difficult to do any of this videoing or vlogging or anything when you've got somebody who's a non-vlogger with you. You know, they just don't have the patience. They keep interrupting you, and it's just not fair to interrupt on their trip, you know, while I try and set up shots and chat to myself in the helmet and stop every 10 minutes to take photographs. So it's only on these solo trips I get to do this. So I would like to get an Alps trip, a solo Alps trip done sometime, so that I could do a bit of vlogging in it. That would be cool. But as you may have heard as well, my asthma is no better, which is a pain, but we'll crack on. So I don't think I'm too far out now. Let's see, 18 kilometers this is telling me in total. Yeah, it looks like that V down there, I think, is essentially where Leenane is. And Delphi isn't too far beyond Leenane, and it's a beautiful drive out. I'm bad from the hotel in Leenane. That's a whole other story. But to keep it short, I basically stayed there, had a rubbish. The room they put me in was awful. A hovel of a room. And I wrote a review about it, and he didn't like it, so he barred me from the hotel. Well, that's his loss. I would have been a great customer. I'm in there. I travel so much, I would have been over here. I'm over here a lot, but doesn't bother me. Delphi is nicer. wind seems to have died down a bit here, but it's a lot wetter. The roads are very slippy. Gravel in the middles is slippy on the edge. Yeah, but it's been a while since I've been in Connemara. I've been to Galway a lot, Galway City. But it's been a while, I think, since I've been out here now in Connemara, because I've been focusing so much on the Ring of Kerry and Sligo and Donegal and Scotland and the Alps, Slovenia, so I kind of neglected Connemara, and it's epic. Connemara is absolutely epic. I haven't even scratched the surface on it, and I've done a lot of Connemara, but even as I was looking at some of the routes for this couple of days, I was looking at roads that look very interesting, that I've never been on. So when I get more time, I'll have to do a bit more exploring in here. But you know, I've a lot. Like I said on my Scotland trip, I'm going to focus on, or going to try and focus on Scotland for the next while. I absolutely fell in love with Scotland. It was just stunning. So I've already booked my next trip. I'm going to add on a day or two more than what I did the last time, because I didn't get everything done, and try and explore a bit more of it. It'll be very hard to cut out some of the bits that I didn't do, because I mean, all of it was stunning. Like, there's no reason for me to do the Glen Etive again, because there's a couple of other ones that are near that I'd like to explore, that will take a good bit of time. But then at the same time, having to cut it out, oh, that would be hard. That would be hard. So we're coming into Leenane here now. There's a bar here, which I think was the bar that was used in the movie The Field, where the Bull McCabe came in and told everyone that was his field. I correct me if I'm wrong, I could have it mixed up, but I think it's the one here in Leenane. So there's the estuary. Stop and we have a look at the village here, because it is a nice little village. That's it, really. Get petrol here if you want as well. Yeah, so that's the estuary there. They do boat trips in Kildare Harbour, I think it's called. We're going to go out that road along here, all along the harbour. There's the village back there with the pub I was telling you about, that I think was from The Field, the movie The Field. As you can see, it's pretty bleak looking today in terms of weather. I'm surprised at how little accommodation is here. Like, there is the Leenane Hotel, which I'm barred from, and then there's one called the Convent, and then there's another couple of little B&Bs, but that's it. And then there's Delphi, of course. So you would think there'd be more here, given how nice it is. But it's not too bad now. The rain has eased off. The wind seems to have died down a little bit. But excuse me, I stayed here about a year or two ago with the wife in Delphi, and we tried to hike this mountain here. Can't remember what it's called. I think it was this mountain, or maybe it was a bit further down. Yeah, no, it was that one. My Jesus, that was a tough hike. Tough hike. Look at how choppy the water is with the wind. Oh, please be better tomorrow. And look at how dark it is. Like, it's nearly 6:30 in the evening in August. Sun should be beaten down in this time of year. And that's the problem with Ireland and Scotland and England and Wales and Northern Ireland, is that whilst they're absolutely stunning countries, you just cannot plan anything for fear of the weather. The height of summer, it can be like this or worse. And then the flip is true as well. Sometimes you get some lovely sunny bright days in winter, but you can get all 4 seasons in the space of an hour here in Ireland, so you can never... Jesus, that was sharper than I was expecting. Pay attention. But yeah, there's a beautiful set of waterfall here as well. Achill Falls, I think it's called. Achill, I think. See you now in a minute. But if you've never stayed in Delphi, definitely give it a whirl. It's absolutely stunning. The rooms are off the charts. They're really nice. You can get entire houses, or I'm going for this split level suite today. Yeah, Achill Falls. I think that little house there belongs to Delphi. Now this is a fabulous road, but if you're doing it, what I would say to you is be careful and watch out for the old sheep. It's littered with them, particularly the further up and closer you get to Doolough. You go around the bend and you'll find one of them just standing in the middle of the street. Now here's the falls here. Look. They're up there a bit. Look. What's this he's doing? Like, it's not a... It's more a weird than a fall as well. So I wouldn't exactly call it a waterfall, just a tall weir. But it is stunning. Yeah, but the Delphi Centre runs an awful lot of adventure activities, you know, hill walking, climbing, kayaking, horse riding. You name it. If it can be done outside, they'll do it. And what a location. And it always struck me that they've never opened one up in the Dublin Mountains, particularly around Glendalough. Like, there's a cracking little hotel in Glendalough, but it definitely needs a bit of a refurb, you know. And I've often wondered why a man, the owner of that, doesn't put in a really, really good Delphi Adventure Centre-esque type place, you know. It would do a bomb. Okay, the wind is picking right back up now. I just get little pockets of a punch at the side of the bike. It just goes whoop. Yeah, now here's the end. Now look at this. Absolutely epic. Look at how windy or wild the water is from the wind. Excuse me. Definitely one of the best coastal roads in the country. Absolutely epic. You know, and I know the weather is bad. And I know it won't translate in the camera to you guys watching. But it is absolutely and utterly atmospheric here. The atmosphere, it's almost electric, you know. It just feels wild and you know, like it's just inspiring. Like, it's really, really epic now. You know, you've got that feeling that you've really gone out and done something for the day. You know, and you've been part of the environment. That's the good thing about motorbikes. Like, you don't get that in a car. Because you're outdoors on a motorbike, you really feel like part of everything. You can feel the wind running through your hair, you can feel the cold, you can feel the rain. Because of the bike and the way bikes are driving, you have to sense the way the surface of the road is. It's I suppose you could call it spiritual, you know. It's a connection between you and something, you know. When I say something, I'm not talking God here. Whoop, see that old sheep there jumping out? I'm just talking about, you know, feeling connected to your environment and to your surroundings and the air and the countryside and the bike and everything, you know. It's just, you know, when you feel like you're enjoying yourself and oh, it's great. Absolutely fantastic. Best therapy anyone could ever get. Jump on a motorbike and drive out somewhere like this. So what if the weather's crap? Yeah, so now we turn in a bit more inland now. We're going away from the estuary and we kind of go through a bit of a valley. We'll drive up past jeez, it's bouncy as hell. We'll drive up along a river up by Delphi. And it might take a few minutes and head up to Doolough, because it'll be a nice time in the evening to see Doolough, you know. Very atmospheric. Because it's getting dark an awful lot earlier now. I know it's August, but went for a walk down the canal near where I live the other night. It was pitch dark by 9:30. I made a pause at that corner now, look. I'm paying attention. At 9:30 it's pitch dark walking down the greenway in the canal. Kids are back to school. Summer's near the end. So here's the river now. So this is the road now that Delphi's on. It's just up here on the left after a mile or two. and we go through a valley over a little bridge, and we're on to Doolough, and then I'll show you where the Sheafree Pass is. There's a mountain, that you can see that mountain from the view of the restaurant and everything in Delphi. It's immense. Again, lost in scale through the camera, but trust me, it is immense. So Delphi's just here on the left, I think. Oh, fucking gravel right on the bloody middle of the bend. Look, excuse my French. Yeah, Delphi Resort, 100 meters. So that's where I'm staying tonight, in this epic valley. Look, we're not going in there just yet. There it is. Oh, they built a whole new front onto it. That's interesting. Zip wire, kayaking, surfing. Nice to have it all. So we go out over this little bridge. Jesus, if you were into your fishing now. So there's not a hope I get the drone up today because it's just too wet, the wind. But I do have footage of Doolough, so I will insert it. Assuming I can find it. I hope I can find it now. It's been a while. But if I can't find it, I'll link to the original upload I did. I do have it uploaded on my channel. Now I think there's another part of Delphi up here, Delphi Lodge or something it's called. I'm not 100% sure. No? Delphi Lodge, yeah, there you go. Up on the right. There it is there. Nice. But there's a beautiful house down here actually that I don't know if he built it from scratch or he renovated an old cottage or an old farmer's cottage or something. But it's absolutely stunning. So whoever owns it, if you're watching, fair play to you on the job you did. And there it is there. Look, isn't that gorgeous? Right on the river. Oh, I'd buy that now in a flash if I had the money and he was selling it. So now we're down onto Doolough. So it's like a basin of mountains with two lakes in the middle of it. But look at this. Off the Richter scale. Proper Highlander stuff or something, isn't it? Now there's the turn off for the Sheafree Pass. And that's an epic valley. That is a class road up there. And tomorrow we'll loop back through. So we'll go out this way tomorrow, but come back in through that. But up there, up through the Sheafree Pass, there's a place called the Tawnyard, I think it is called. The Tawnyard. Here's more sheep. Look at this, lads. And it's proper like something out of Jurassic Park. Like, it's unbelievable. But I must read up on my history a bit on this whole section. I've read snippets, so I've heard a little bit, but I'm not, you know, don't quote me on anything. I'm not an expert. Don't text me or email me saying, hey, you got that wrong. I don't give a flying F, you know what I mean. I'm not the History Channel. So apparently there was a a famine walk here, and I think this is where a lot of the that film Black 47 was filmed, all around here. Again, don't quote me on that, but it would make sense if it was. Oh, it's a bit drier here. But now the famine walk, I don't know if they all died or what happened to them. But 1847, this must have been one hell of a bleak place to be. This road certainly wouldn't have been tarmacked. There wouldn't have been a village with a pub in the middle of it. Well, maybe there would have been. This is Ireland after all. But yeah, no public transport, no cars, no nothing. Nobody could afford a horse. You had to walk through here in your bare feet. And God knows what kind of weather. It must have been torturous. And I doubt they would have appreciated the beauty of it, given the condition that they were in. Oh man, having a good old scratch against the wall. Look at that though, that is absolutely epic. What a place. What a place. So we'll be heading out this way tomorrow. And this is kind of a peninsula, so we'll be heading out up north to Louisburg. But before we get to Louisburg, we're going to kind of double back out that way. Go way over there. It's a dead end. But from what I see on the Google Maps, it looks pretty special. So we'll go and we'll have a poke around. Yeah, so there's a cross up here marking a monument for that famine walk. I must have a read of it now while we're up here. See what it says. We're going to turn around here and head back to the hotel. Well, that always gets me. So let's have a read of this cross. To commemorate the hungry poor who walked here in 1849 and walked Third World today, freedom for the South Africa 1994. How can men feel themselves honoured by the humiliation of their fellow beings? Very strange. Right, so we head down now to the hotel. It's nearly 7 o'clock. What a view. That's not a bad thing to see the end of an old day before you head in to get something to eat, huh? I could think of worse places to be. Absolutely stunning. Move over, you dozy bint. Looking right across the bloody 2 lanes she was. The old sheep have an out tough life, don't they? As beautiful as this is, I wouldn't fancy spending the night out in it without my jacket on. But that's the other good thing about coming through these places when it's raining, or recently been raining. All the little waterfalls and rivers that run down the side of it suddenly fill up that you wouldn't normally see on a nice sunny day, and they're epic. So tonight one of the challenges that faces me is to swap out the camera on the helmet now, because I'm currently videoing as you watch on my GoPro 4, but I've bought a new GoPro 7, but the microphone adapter for it is ridiculous. And the housing that it comes in is a bit weird, that you can't get some of the cables and stuff into it with that housing, so I think you can take off some of the doors. So it's only a new camera, so I have to figure all of that out tonight and see if I can hook it up to the helmet and swap it out. Yeah, so that mountain right there in front of us now, that's the one myself and the missus hiked, and it is one hell of a hike. And the day we did it, it was covered in snow at the top, and it gets extremely steep up near the top. So made for an interesting day. I could do this all day. I could just drive up and down this lake all day. There's the lads. Right. See, that's the thing about sheep. You never know which way they're going to go. They panic. And they don't do the most logical things. Lock it up now. Come on. Where did that come from? My God. Where Where did that come out of? Whew. But yeah, I went down and I test drove the new 1250 there, the liquid cooled, down in Keary's in Little Island, Cork there last week, and I was mightily impressed. Unbelievably quick. And I remember when the first liquid cools came out, the 2014 ones, I think, I didn't really like them because I felt they were too quick and too snappy with the gearbox. It was like driving a naked street bike, you know, a racer bike, like a Z1000 or something. It didn't feel like a mountain or adventure bike at all. It was a sports bike. And then they changed, at least I don't know if they did, but it certainly feels to me that from 2015 onwards they seem to reconfigure, or 2016 onwards they can reconfigure the gearbox, and it wasn't as snappy. It retained all its power, and then it eventually started to feel like a GS. But they seem to have got it straight off the mark with this 1250 one now. A lot quicker, but it delivers the power well. And it still feels like a GS, like it was very familiar. Different but familiar, if you know what I mean. But I still don't think BMW should have changed the indicator switches to the Japanese version. I like the old paddles that are on this one. I hated them at first because I came from a Honda to the Beamer and I was like, what the hell are they doing? But after a day, they do make much more sense. I'm sure it's a cost thing, but I prefer the Beamer indicator selectors. Much more user friendly, I think. But that's just me. Right, so this is it. See how close it is to Doolough? You're right on it. So this is me for the night. Get something to eat because I am starving. Hopefully there's somewhere I can stick this in. I'll just put it here for the moment until I get all the gear in, and then I can move it later. Oh, that looks very cozy. Hopefully nice fire going or something. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Howdy folks, so I made it down eventually. It's starting to get pretty dark and miserable out. Hopefully the footage of Doolough and all will have come out in the GoPro, so that you should have seen that by now. But I got to the hotel. The hotel is lovely, like I said. I was expecting to stay in one of these, it's called a loft suite, I think it is, which is a split level suite. But I was pleasantly surprised to find that they've upgraded me now to a proper suite. As you can see, it's pretty nice. I'll give you the old tour. So as you can see, the room this is just the living room. It's quite big. It's very nice. And then it has a separate bedroom with a big huge double bed and a single. Its own bathroom, ensuite. Bathroom is a bit pokey though, but the room is nice. Nice windows out there, looking out onto a beautiful view, which we'll go out and have a look at now, because these suites come with their own balcony. And that's the view, which is nice. Very nice. I can't complain. Yeah, so that's me for the evening. So I need to go get showered and changed. Oh, just down here. So I need to go get showered and changed and get ready to go down for something to eat. I think the restaurant stops serving at 9, so it's plenty of time, I suppose, nearly 2 hours. So tomorrow, as I said, we've a big day tomorrow, assuming that the weather holds out. So tomorrow, out of here, up through Doolough, out towards Lewisburg, but then we're going to loop back on ourselves, go down to this dead end that I was checking out on Google Maps, back up, cross Lewisburg, up out towards Newport, Westport, and then out by Malrani, and then over to Achill Island, and then we'll do a big loop of Achill Island, taking out by the coast road, the Atlantic road there, which is absolutely stunning. And then from there we'll go up onto Keene Beach, and near Keene Beach there's a little reservoir that I'll try and get to show you. I have some nice drone footage from there, so we'll insert that as well. And then from Keene Beach we'll come off, and then we'll go up north and loop around, and then come down through this really narrow little twin track road that brings you through a place called Furnace. I think it's called the Nephin Way, not Effin, Nephin, Nephin, and that brings you back in towards Westport and all of that. And from there we'll make our way back down into towards Doolough, but this time through the Sheafree Pass, and then down into here and back to the hotel here in Delphi. So it's a big day. It's I think it's about just over 200 miles. So if the weather's not too bad, it should be a full day's riding, which will be good. And then hopefully then later on I'll meet up with the guys. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this very short little 1 or 2 nighter. And I'll promise to try and get more of the Scottish stuff up. I know some people have been reaching out to me to see when it's coming up. So I'll hopefully publish one more of those either tonight or tomorrow. Okay, talk to you soon.